Good evening. I would like to welcome everyone to the 2022 National Honor Society Induction Ceremony at Harding High School. First off, we would like to extend a special thank you to the parents, guardians, and guests of our inductees. Your guidance has certainly played a key role in the achievements we celebrate tonight. We thank you for being part of our educational success. Additionally, we would like to thank the National Honor Society Selection Committee, who played a key role in selecting our inductees this year. Also, a special thank you to Mr. John Mullins, Ed Blackburn, and the custodial staff, as well as Cindy Whitman, without whom this evening would not have been possible. Before we continue with our program, I would like to ask everyone to please silence your cell phones. Other than graduation, this evening's ceremony is the most important gathering of the school year because the National Honor Society is one of the oldest and most prestigious organizations for students in the country. Marion Harding's chapter of the National Honor Society was established in 1925, joining chapters throughout the country since 1921 and have inducted over 7 million student members. In order for students to be eligible for membership, they must meet the scholarship requirement established by the National Constitution of the National Honor Society by having a minimum of a 4.5 cumulative GPA. Candidates are then evaluated on the basis of service, leadership, and character. These characteristics are described in your programs. The purpose of the society is to honor scholars who are leaders of good character and who serve their talents to others. Ms. Flock will now present the symbols of the National Honor Society.
Thank you, Alistair. The emblem which is on your program is highlighted by the keystone and flaming torch. The torch from earliest times has been the emblem of wisdom or the eternal light of knowledge. The lighting of this torch symbolizes the lighting of your torch as you accept the responsibility of going on to future accomplishments with the accompanying obligations and responsibilities. At the base of the keystone are the letters C, S, L, and S to represent the virtues of character, scholarship, leadership, and service. These are symbolized by the 4 unlighted candles. Now in modern times, this society looks upon education as a total product measured by the 4 dimensions of life. 4 of our National Honor Society members, Asa Deeren, Anaya Reynolds, Sophia Tenorello, Zane Minzy, will review these 4 qualities of membership. Our first speaker will be Sophia Tenorello about character.
What makes up someone's character? How do I define a person's character when every day I interact with dozens of people? Every single day we make choices, and we decide these choices based on our thoughts, action, and even our morals and beliefs. All of those aspects are small pieces to a puzzle that make up our character and the way others perceive us. Those small choices we make every day drive us to become the person we envision ourselves to be. Building a good character is not something that happens overnight. As I said before, there are many pieces to a puzzle that creates one's character. Those key pieces, I believe, include grit and integrity. The psychological term for grit is a trait based on one's perseverance and effort combined with the passion for a particular long-term goal. The definition sounds very straightforward, but in reality, displaying grit is a discipline an individual must learn and create into a habit. A habit is created when a certain situation or trigger causes an action, and this action leads to the reward. However, what that action is the most important part, and that is the most important part. The action caused by the trigger must be positive, leading you to that reward, but with more of efficient actions. By reinforcing the so-called habit wheel within your daily routine and creating these positive habits, your character will continue to grow for the better. By the textbook definition, integrity is the quality of being honest and having a strong moral code. Once again, not something that can click overnight, because we all, without a doubt, make mistakes. Integrity is when we present yourself to be, even when no one is watching. With social media being such a huge part of today's culture and society, we often see the parts of an individual's life and not the person behind the screen. They may present themselves as a generous and meaningful person, but once the phone is turned off, does their character turn off as well? A role model in my life, Austin King, has stated before that it is better to be yourself and have no friends than be like your friend and have no self. Integrity must be worked on every day, and you must use grit to reach who that person is, and eventually, with many, many other factors, you can keep building your character and the person you want to become. Aside from those two character traits, who you surround yourself with has an immense impact on your character as well. Tonight, as you are inducted in the National Honor Society, you will be surrounded by your peers who have persevered through the long nights of homework, studying, and stayed the course even when the road got a little bumpy aside from school. Becoming a part of this, you will be surrounded by fellow students who will challenge you and your character. And from that, you will be able to keep building on those valuable traits. There is always room for improvement and growth, so trust me when I say this is just the beginning of endless opportunities, and most importantly, be yourself. Next up, we have Zane speaking about scholarship.
Scholarship is to be created, not by compulsion, but by awakening a pure interest in knowledge. I stumbled upon this quote by Ralph Waldo Emerson, and it immediately set off a light bulb in my mind as to what true scholarship is. Scholarship is defined as academic study or achievement. It is the way someone goes about their learning. I know some people, including myself at some point, have viewed scholarship as a competition of who can obtain the highest class rank, GPA, grades. The list keeps going. But the reality of it is that none of those numerical rankings mean a thing in the grand scheme of life. As Emerson stated, it is awakening a pure interest in knowledge. This statement really made me rethink the way I went about my high school education. It is a powerful thing to think about the fact that we all strive for these perfect test scores or wanting to impress our teachers whenever we get the chance. Which, don't get me wrong, it's completely okay. But are you doing it to just make yourself look good, or is it because your education has truly piqued your interest? Just something to think about as you move forward with your education. But with that being said, a scholar uses their talents and abilities they have obtained throughout their years of education to make the community outside of school a better place. People will not care nor remember what your GPA was in 10 years, but what people will remember is the way you went about obtaining your achievements. I would like to congratulate each and every one of you. This is a big accomplishment, and you should be proud of your hard work. Allow your interest in new knowledge to run wild. Remember to have fun with your education because it's not about what you achieve, but how you achieve it. Thank you. Next up is Asa Deeren speaking on leadership.
Ultimately, leadership is not about glorious crowning acts. It's about keeping your team focused on a goal and motivated to do their best to achieve it, especially when the stakes are high and the consequences really matter. It's about laying the groundwork for other success and then standing back and letting them shine. Chris Hadfield. To some, the term leadership may bring feelings of uneasiness and discomfort, but to a select few, leadership comes naturally. And it's one of the most vital roles of an organization, company, or any ecosystem of people in society for that matter. Often, Without a leader, ideas aren't represented, problems aren't solved, intergroup relationships aren't facilitated to their full extent, and chaos ensues, whether major or minor. The worldly concept of a leader is often one of pulling from the top, but I believe that this is not the greatest way. The greatest leaders are the ones who push up from the bottom, who recognize and seize opportunities to sacrifice part of themselves to better their people. These are the ones who succeed. Now, like I said, leading comes naturally to some, but that doesn't mean it can't be learned. The best way to increase your leadership skills is to start small. Small steps such as applying for a lower level management position, taking up tutoring, a skill that you are passionate about, or running for school council positions are great ways to ease you into leading environment. But what you need to remember, though, is that you will need to get out of your comfort zone. But these things are important in building your character as you discover who you are in the coming years. So go, seek out opportunities, fail, learn, succeed. Put others before yourself, and you will be amazed by what you can accomplish. Thank you. Next, we have Anaya Reynolds speaking on the topic of leadership, of service.
Service is an important part of the National Honor Society. It is a concept you have to understand before being chosen and a concept that is long expected after being chosen. Gandhi once said, "The best way to find yourself is to lose yourself in the service of others." I believe this to be true. Many high school students and people in general are uninterested in being of service to others as they are unable to see past the hard work and long hours things may take. As for me and my peers here can attest, being of service to others in your community can open up so many doors, not just for you, but for others. Volunteering or helping an organization can allow you to find interests and purpose you didn't have before. Community service allows you to influence those around you. Community service allows high school students to create the change they want to see for future children growing up in their community. It gives us the opportunity to give back to the people that poured their wisdom and ideas into us. NHS wants to remind us that being a scholar or a student athlete will only get you so far in life, but helping those around you will get you farther. As we are all climbing our way through life, some of us are graduating high school and others are going to become seniors. We must remember it costs nothing to be kind and a helping hand as the reward is infinite. We wouldn't be where we are today without the help of others, so it is only fair we do the same. Nothing is cooler than being able to say, "Yes, I was a part of that," or "Yes, I helped with the success of this event." In the end, we were given the opportunity to be a leader, so let's just do that so our community can appreciate us later on down the road. Thank you.
Thank you, Anaya. Let's give him another round of applause. Now that the candidates understand these symbols, Ms. Musbach-Wellman, will you please administer the pledge?
Well, again, welcome to our National Honor Society induction ceremony this evening, and certainly welcome to the actual cafeteria at Harding High School. We are glad to be here and glad to be streaming live as well for those at home. So welcome, and students, congratulations on your accomplishments. Will our new inductees please stand? Wherever you are, thank you, new inductees. So we will now administer the National Honor Society Pledge. So I will ask that you remain standing and raise your right hand. This pledge is also available in your programs. My first question for you: do you promise to continue to try to excel in character, scholarship, leadership, and service as you have thus far in high school? If so, answer, I do. Again, new inductees, in your program, you have your National Honor Society pledge. Please read it with me. I pledge to maintain high scholastic standing, to endeavor intelligently and courageously to be a leader, to give of myself freely in service to others, and to hold as fundamental and worthy and untarnished character. In so doing, I shall prove myself worthy of a place in the National Honor Society. You have now pledged yourselves, new inductees, to the National Honor Society for Harding High School and nationally. Those of you who have pledged uphold the purpose of this society and its high ideals of character, scholarship, leadership, and service. We accept you as members of this National Honor Society. Congratulations on behalf of Harding High School, Marion City Schools, your families, your community, and the National Chapter of Honor Society. A round of applause for our inductees you see before you. Inductees, you may be seated. Mr. Scott, it's your turn.
Each inductee will now receive his or her certificate and sign the Marion Harding National Honor Society Register. The new members will be introduced by Mrs. Musbach-Wellman. Certificates will be presented by Mrs. Pace and Mr. Andinoro, and Mr. Stone will preside over the registration.
As each of our inductees' name is announced, I would ask that those who are here supporting that inductee, family, friends, guests, please stand when you hear your student's name called. And please remain standing until that student receives their pin and makes their way to the stage. We will call names in alphabetical order. Our students will again sign our book at the table. They will make their way to Mrs. Pace to receive their pin, and then to the stage. Make sure, students, as you gather on the stage, spread out. We'll make sure we shift you if we need to. Our first inductee, Jada Adams. Mallory Ballinger. Jacob Bieshler. Aubrey Boehm. Kaya Carter. Jaden Combs. Andromeda Downs. Taylor Iden. Abigail Jordan. Matus Lashetsky. JD Pineda. Adrian Shipley. Raiden Sipes. Shelby Stimson. Brielle Stone. Caitlin Sutherland. Mr. Stone will now light the first candle from the lamp of knowledge. This light will be passed to all students to symbolize the receiving of the light. Now, we don't want the light of knowledge to burn anyone. So we are going to ask that our class of 2022 extinguish your candles carefully at this time and remain standing on the stage, please. We'd like to take a moment and honor last year's induction class as well, and we would ask that you come sign the book and join us in front of the stage because you had a virtual induction ceremony. So I will call names, and I believe you're also brilliant. You've already lined up perfectly. Thank you. The class of 2021 inductees: Shalana Booker, Talia Cirillo, Caitlin Dom, Asa Deeren, Taylor Everhart, Jalen Fogel, Alex Ghani, Jennifer Gonzalez Segura. Grace McCreary. Zane Menzie. Avery Petrie. Ronald Prater. Payne Ratliff. Anaya Reynolds. Morgan Rhodes. Alistair Scott. Catherine Schoaf. Tucker Sloan. Sophia Tinarello. Alexandra Vanderborn. Najee Vaness. Hannah White. Ladies and gentlemen, your current Marion Harding High School National Honor Society stands before you. Give them a round of applause, and Mr. Scott, come back up here.
I wish to congratulate all of our National Honor Society's inductees, and I especially want to thank all of the families and parents out here tonight helping us celebrate this tremendous achievement. Let's give all of our members another round of applause. Students, please stay for a few moments for a group photo. Thank you all for coming and have a safe trip home.